Welcome and welcome to my first reaction Doctor Who video ever here on Doctor Who is Forever on my Doctor Who Facebook page. If you haven't liked it, please like it because it's not just full of information and news. The most important thing for me is opinion and personality, and that's what I want to put on this page. So yeah, this is my reaction video for Under the Lake. Please let me know what you thought of it. I thought it was nothing more than solid. I don't think this is not a classic episode in Doctor Who history. I think the amazing cliffhanger will be remembered for years to come. I think that's for sure. But I think anything else won't particularly be remembered. The rest of the crew, the rest of the supporting characters, didn't really grab me. I mean, sometimes they grab you and sometimes they don't. I mean, I don't think that even in classic Who that you always had the guest starring characters that were that memorable. Sometimes you did, sometimes you didn't. These ones weren't particularly memorable. I like the fact that the leader was a deaf lady, and I loved the miming stuff and things like that. I thought that was great. But as for the supporting cast, yeah, good actors, no question. I think they killed off the wrong character from the beginning. I think he would have been more interesting to have as part of the crew and to interact properly with the Doctor. He's a really good actor as well, a well-known actor around the circuit, so that would have been kind of interesting. But it didn't happen, so... And, of course, with this one, it's so similar to the Impossible Planet 2 part, not in the sense of its tone, but what it's trying to do. I mean, you've got the kind of weird writing that we kind of similar to the Impossible Planet and Satan's Pit, and then the Doctor saying, why isn't the TARDIS translating? He's got a short memory, hasn't he? He's not shouldn't you kind of be thinking, well, when I went there and maybe I saw the devil and this happened, he should really be comparing. So that was a bit odd. As I say, I loved it. The ghosts were brilliant. The effects for the ghosts were brilliant. They do look scary when they actually become the ghost and you can't see their eyes anymore, and their eye sockets are just sockets. And that's really scary. Visually, that's a really scary thing. So I love that aspect of it. But as this episode really does nothing for season 9 of Doctor Who in the sense of where we're going. We know Clara's leaving. We don't know how. Obviously, the hybrid's been mentioned in the other 2 episodes. I think that Clara is the hybrid. No question about it. No one's going to change my mind on that. I think she's the hybrid. I think she is what the Doctor's been running from all his life. Maybe he's forgot her. And I think when she's talking to him as a small boy, I think that is an aspect of it. And I also think the Asylum of the Daleks is a big clue to what's going to happen to Clara at the end. But I'm going off back here. Let's go back to the episode. So it's got that scary episode Doctor Who feel about it, and it's good. And of course, even kind of the relationship in this episode between Clara and the Doctor is very remnant of Rose's relationship with the Doctor in the Impossible Planet. And I think you should go with what you're doing. I mean, obviously they're desperately trying to get Russell T Davies fans back onto the show. UK viewers have slipped a little bit, where international viewers are going up and up and up. Us Brits we're not watching it in our droves as much as we were under Russell T Davies. I mean, obviously the numbers are sensational and brilliant, especially when it adds on to the iPlayer and the week's viewers. There's not a problem there. It's coming back. And by the way, really happy about Class, which is the Doctor Who spin-off, coming out next year. I have spoken to Patrick Ness on Twitter. He's really excited, and I can see Patrick Ness actually being the future showrunner of Doctor Who. Fascinates me that he's an author rather than a TV writer. I think that's a good move as well. So the future of Doctor Who is really exciting, and I really hope that Patrick ends up running the show. Obviously, we have to see how he does with Class, but I think it's really exciting. I will do a video about it, but just to say that I'm positive about this, and I can't wait. Also, I'm going to do a video about these rumours that Doctor Who's not going to have a 2016 series. I think they're total balls. I don't believe it, and I'll do a video about that as well. Back to this episode. Yeah, it's kind of weird, really, because there's not really much to this episode. I know that someone kind of complained about Murray's music being too loud. I don't agree. I love Murray's music. I love that operatic loudness to Murray's music. It really helps out what's going on within a scene and within the episode. As I say, this episode doesn't stink. I don't ever watch an episode of Doctor Who and say this is rubbish. There's no such thing as a rubbish episode of Doctor Who. A mediocre episode of Doctor Who is an awesome episode of any other show, no question about that. But it's not really... As I said, this is the problem with series TV. You have to have middling episodes. You have to have episodes that really don't do very much for your franchise or for your forthcoming season. And this two-parter for me is really not going to do much. I loved, as I say, I loved the part when Clara's begging the Doctor not to leave, and he's kind of miming to her, trust me. Because obviously when he left her on the moon last season, there was a big issue there for Clara, and you can't really blame her, can you? So there's kind of a year on, there's more trust within the two of them, which I think is great, and great that we saw that. One of the problems I have since we got to season 7, because everyone's bashed Moffat so badly with season 5 and 6, I loved seasons 5 and 6 because it showed his individuality as a storyteller. It showed his personality as a storyteller. It showed what he likes to do. And I thought they were brilliant seasons. But then, because so many people criticised him, it seemed to me that he kind of got scared away of doing what he wanted to do. And that kind of seemed really obvious in season 7. And even with this new Doctor last year, he does seem afraid to really go for it. Because with Matt's Doctor, when he brought Matt in, Matt had his thing. Matt was like a young head on old shoulders kind of thing. He had this kind of, I love the body shape that Matt Smith did for his Doctor. And he was a funny Doctor, but he could be serious and he could get angry as well. And I just think all the Doctors since we've come back in 2005 have had their thing. Capaldi is a brilliant actor, and I love Capaldi as the Doctor, but it always takes me about a year, even 2 sometimes, to get used to a new actor as the Doctor. And I'm not helped here because I can't... Yeah, he started off being grumpy, but now he's less grumpy. I liked him last year, actually, because at least you knew what kind of a Doctor he was. This year he's kind of lost a little bit that grumpiness, and I don't know what he is, to be honest with you. Yesterday they tried to make him a bit more light and fluffy, apart from when he calls the guy an idiot, which was great. I love the stuff when Clara's showing him the cards and what to say, because he obviously doesn't know how to eloquate his emotions, and he kind of going, this is brilliant, yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, a couple of your crew members are dead, but don't, that kind of thing. So kind of that Doctor House thing, he doesn't really get how other people are feeling. Emotions are for other people, not the Doctor. So I love that aspect of him, but I still wish we would stick to making Capaldi's Doctor unique and brilliant, rather than trying to get back people from other eras. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. You're never going to please classic Who fans, and you're never going to please Russell T Davies fans. Classic Who is awesome. It's the origins of the show. Love it. I'm a big fan of what Russell T Davies did. I mean, it was immense. But when you've got a new producer, when you've got someone, well, not new, he's been there for 5 years now, but in the end, you just have to do your own thing and stick to what you believe in as a storyteller and a producer. Otherwise, if you start falling down to people's criticisms and you're not you anymore and you're not doing what you think is right, then there is an inner problem, and that can hurt the show. I am excited by this year. I think the opening 2 episodes were amazing, even though there hasn't been a video yet, because I've only just started doing these now. I think they were amazing. I think this episode was okay, nothing more than okay. I'm looking forward to the second part, just really to see how it all pans out. I'm really excited about the Maisie Williams episodes. Who is she? Looks like she's no one from the past. I would concur with that, unfortunately. It would have been awesome if she's Susan. I can't see it myself, but we certainly will see what's going on. So comment here, like the page, share the page. As I say, it's not just about Doctor Who news and what's going on. It's about my opinions, and I want you to give yours. Thank you very much. Have a great Sunday.